She was the people's princess, a royal whose smile could light up even the darkest corners of the world, warm, genuine, and disarming in its sincerity. Her laughter carried a sense of hope, her compassion a quiet rebellion against the rigid traditions of the monarchy. Yet behind that radiant glow was a woman burdened by loneliness, trapped between duty and desire, expectation and emotion. Her story began as a fairy tale, the shy young woman chosen by a prince, adored by a nation, and watched by billions. To the world, she seemed to have everything: beauty, grace, and the promise of a happily ever after. But the golden crown came with invisible thorns. The palace walls that once symbolized prestige soon became a gilded cage. Inside that cage, Diana discovered the truth that would break her heart. Her husband's love was never truly hers. Charles's enduring affair with Camilla Parker Bowles became the shadow that haunted their marriage. Every whispered phone call, every stolen glance reminded Diana that she was living beside a man whose heart belonged to another. The pain and humiliation consumed her, eroding trust and leaving their union in ruins. What began as a royal love story slowly unraveled into a tragedy of betrayal and emotional warfare. Every gesture was judged, every tear magnified, every word twisted by the relentless press. And then one tragic night, the fairy tale shattered. Under the harsh glare of flashbulbs in a Paris tunnel, the story of Diana Spencer came to a devastating close, a collision of fame, fear, and fate. But her death did not silence her. It immortalized her. This is the life and the death of Diana Spencer, a woman loved by millions, feared by the establishment, and ultimately betrayed by the very system that crowned her. A princess whose humanity made her unforgettable and whose truth continues to haunt the shadows of the crown. Born on July 1st, 1961 at Park House, Sandringham, Diana Frances Spencer grew up in a world of titles, traditions, and quiet heartbreak. Her parents, John Spencer and Frances Roche, were aristocrats, close to the royal family, but their marriage was far from perfect. When Diana was just 6 years old, the Spencer's separation shattered her sense of security. She once told friends, "I remember crying on my bed, wishing my mother would come back." From a young age, Diana sought attention not for vanity, but for love. At her boarding school, West Heath, she was shy but kind, always drawn to helping others. Teachers recalled her dream: to be a ballerina or a nursery teacher, not a princess. But destiny had other plans. In 1977, at just 16, Diana met Prince Charles, who was dating her older sister. To Charles, Diana seemed pure, innocent, untouched by scandal, everything the royal family wanted. By 1980, the press had discovered the shy girl from Norfolk. Headlines read, "Is she the one?" On February 6, 1981, Charles proposed with a sapphire ring, now famous across the world. Diana was only 19. Their wedding that July was a global spectacle, watched by 750 million people. But behind the royal veil, something was already wrong. Charles was still in love with Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana would later admit, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Diana became an instant global icon. Her beauty, compassion, and authenticity touched millions. She shook hands with AIDS patients when the world feared them. She hugged children suffering from landmine injuries. For the public, she was love made visible. For the royal household, she was unpredictable. Diana suffered postpartum depression, bulimia, and an aching loneliness. Her cries for help were dismissed. She turned to humanitarian work as an escape, her mission, to make people feel seen. Yet every move she made was watched, every tear photographed. The fairy tale had turned into a prison wrapped in diamonds. By 1992, Diana's marriage was over in everything but name. Scandalous phone tapes, affairs on both sides. The monarchy's image began to crack. Then came Andrew Morton's book, Diana, Her True Story. Secretly recorded interviews that revealed her pain to the world. Her courage shocked Britain. She became more than a princess. She became a symbol of survival. In 1996, the divorce was finalized. Diana lost the title, Her Royal Highness. But she gained something greater, her freedom. She poured herself into charity work, especially in the fight against landmines. And then, she met Dodi Al-Fayed, son of billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed. It seemed she had finally found happiness. August 31st, 1997. Diana and Dodi were in Paris, escaping the press after a dinner at the Ritz. At 12:23 a.m., their black Mercedes sped into the Pont de Alma tunnel. Moments later, it struck a concrete pillar. The car crumpled. Dodi and the driver died instantly. Diana was pulled from the wreckage, still alive, barely. At 4 a.m., she was pronounced dead. The world stopped. Millions wept. Candles filled the gates of Kensington Palace. Even hardened reporters cried on air, but questions spread faster than tears. Why was there no official royal response for hours? Why did Diana's security detail vanish that night? And why was the French investigation sealed for years? Conspiracy or tragedy? No one could say for sure. But one truth remained. The people's princess had become immortal. In her absence, Diana's influence only grew stronger. Her sons, William and Harry, have carried her compassion into their own causes, from mental health awareness to global charity work, continuing the mission their mother began. Her humanitarian legacy reshaped how the royal family connects to the people, reminding the world that kindness is the most powerful form of royalty. To this day, Diana's presence lingers, in the smiles of those she once touched, in the movements she inspired, and in the humanity she brought to an institution built on distance. Her spirit transcends titles and traditions, living on as a symbol of empathy, courage, and defiance against silence. And her words still echo. Carry out a random act of kindness with no expectation of reward. One day, someone might do the same for you. Diana was more than a princess. She was a mirror, reflecting both the beauty and the cruelty of power, fame, and love. Her light reminds us that even in tragedy, truth has a way of surviving, and that legends are not born in palaces, but in hearts. This was Duskveil, where truth meets shadow. If Diana's story moved you, help us uncover more of the untold and the unseen. Like this video, share her legacy, and subscribe for more real stories, haunting truths, and cinematic investigations, because every legend hides a mystery, and every shadow has a story.